You're listening to Crunch Time. Kruck and Mad Max bring you the hottest takes, the most up-to-date facts, and sports news around.
What's up, everybody, and welcome into the newest episode of Crunch Time with Kruck. Recording a little bit later today. Wanted to get as close to the men's championship game as we can. It's starting in, what'd you say, about 30 minutes, an hour?
Yeah, so about an hour. So, 8:20. So, hopefully we see when we get this posted. Obviously, the game might be done by then. But, hey, we'll get ready and dive into it, Kruck. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, as always, Jake Prunberg, Mad Max. Let's start off with the game that has already concluded. LSU Tigers took down Iowa Hawkeyes, a score of 102-85. And, Max, there was a lot of talk about Caitlin Clark being, one of the best one of the best women's basketball players ever. After losing the national championship, do you still stand there or no?
I still think Caitlin Clark is a transcending player in the game of basketball still, regardless of this game or regardless of not the game. You know what I'm saying? Because Caitlin Clark still showed up for her team in this championship game, Kruck. She had 30 points. I mean, that's still not bad, even though she didn't get 40 points in the game. I mean, still getting 30 points and still being a big factor for this team. And, again, what I like about Caitlin Clark, too, is that she's great not just scoring. She's great with getting players involved. You can see that not as much as this game against LSU, and I give LSU props because the difference in the game was LSU had most of their starters get more over 20 points or 15 points, while Iowa didn't have that for their kind of starters looking at it. So if you look at it, Alexis Morris, right, she was another big-time player. 22 points for her, obviously starting in there. Then another one looking at it, Jasmine Carson, another one that's a big-time three-point shooter for the LSU Tigers. She's kind of a big impact as well. And Angel Reese gets all the highlights, right? She's I believe she's a sophomore, I believe. She's got another year coming, so she's a young superstar. Double-double in the game, 15 points and 10 rebounds. And listen, LSU was just the better team at the end of the day, Kruck. I mean, they just came in. And we had doubts of them earlier in the year. Remember this? We had doubts saying we didn't know about LSU. We thought after the South Carolina game they were done. No, they proved us wrong. This entire tournament run, they have just kept working and working and working hard. And I think, give props to Kim Mulkey. That's, I believe, her fourth championship, but her first with LSU, which is very incredible to me to hear. And, I still think Caitlin Clark's going to be an outstanding player going into the Win NBA. I think she'll be probably one of the top picks in the Win NBA draft coming up. So, or whether she's not going to the draft, I have no idea. We'll have to see. But regardless, she's going to be a great player for a long time.
Yeah, honestly, looking at it, Angel Reese, she set an NCAA record for most double-doubles in a season with, I believe, either 45 or 54. It's one of those combinations.
It's a high number.
It's a lot. So, congratulations to you. But Caitlin Clark, there's been a lot of buzz around that name, and, a lot of the people we interact with don't really follow women's sports, right? They hear Caitlin Clark, and they finally look her up, this last week or two, and they're like, oh, my goodness, she's amazing, this, that, and the other. And I'm not going to sit here and compare her to anybody else, right? But I will say that she has had the best March Madness performance this year since the likes of Breanna Stewart, Elena Deladon, Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins, these big-time names. She's had one of the best years, unfortunately not coming away with the dub, but, one of the best years, and I truly give her props and credit to it. And, looking at the team stats, Iowa was 28 for 56 on the game. LSU was 38 for 70, given such a big score difference. Field goal percentage wasn't much of a difference. LSU was shooting 54.3%. Iowa was shooting a straight 50. The three-pointers, Iowa sank more three-pointers. They went 14 for 30, but LSU was 11 for 17. Big split in the percentages there, and then the free throw percentage was just about accurate. Both teams made 15. LSU shot one more than the other. But the rebounds is where this story is told. LSU out-rebounded Iowa 37-26. And offensive boards is what LSU really did to win this game. Iowa out-blocked them. Iowa was neck and neck with steals. Iowa did have more turnovers, though. They had 4 more turnovers, and then personal fouls were neck and neck as well. So, the offensive boards and just the boards in general are the only big outlier in this game, Max. We talk about it all the time. As a new D lineman, for everybody who doesn't know, Max is now playing D line and linebacker. So, being a quote-unquote big guy or big woman
Right.
on the floor, we may not necessarily get the ball that much, or in football, we may not necessarily get all the fame, but what we do wins games. And this shows it right here, because getting rebounds may not be the most glorious thing in the world, but if you out-rebound your opponents, your likelihood and percentage of winning go up significantly.
Well, especially in a big-time game, championship game like this, right? I mean, you look at it, LSU was just, it seemed like from the get-go, I mean, they started fast, and they just kept it going. They were the more physical team than Iowa. And you mentioned, obviously, the three-pointers. Iowa won that contest. 8 of those came from Caitlin Clark. So, again, that's showing you a lot. And I think the real difference in the game, if you want to know my honest opinion, Kruck, is LSU had more players that revolved around, while Iowa still looked like they were thinking Caitlin Clark was that person.
Yeah, looking for a Superman.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think Caitlin Clark is a great player, but sometimes, as we know in team sports, it takes everyone to work together. And in basketball, you got 5 players on a court.
I mean, absolutely. Because you look at some of the basketball teams, and I know this is comparing apples to oranges, talking NBA to women's college basketball, but look at the teams LeBron was on when he was first in with the Cavs. There was nobody else there, and he still carried them to the playoffs. Look at the team that Kobe was on after Shaq left. Before Paul Gasol and between Shaq, there was nobody for like a solid year or two. And when he finally got people, he started winning again. Yes, you can be one of the best players in the league, in the country, whatever. You still need a role player. You still need a fellow star, if you will. Maybe not somebody as significant of a magnitude, but you need somebody good. That's why, Max, real quick, first name that pops off your head when I say this, Michael Jordan.
One of the best shooters.
What's the first person you think of when I say Michael Jordan?
First person?
First
so
other
you're
person.
Saying, so like comparison kind of wise.
Yep.
LeBron James?
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Okay, now first
sorry,
teammate.
I just said it.
Here's what I was going for.
I was seeing what
Michael
you're getting
Jordan,
at, like
Scottie
Okay,
Pippen.
got you. Okay.
Now you think, okay, Kobe Bryant,
Shaq, right?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Honestly, okay, LeBron James, and he's had so many great teammates. You can fill that in with whoever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now Caitlin Clark. What's a teammate you think of?
It's
tough.
Kind of tough. I mean, you probably could say their best other player is what is it, Cesano? I'm probably saying that name right, Maddie Cesano. She's not bad. Monica Cesano, my fault, saying it right. I mean, she's kind of a big time player, but the problem is she got in foul trouble a lot, especially in this game. And I think she's one of the bigger type of players, bigs on their team, and she's a great one, just taking up to the rack and play. But Caitlin Clark, again, most of the time doesn't find her, though, in the lane. And I think that was the problem that LSU kind of watched the entire season, is just looking at it and saying, hey, we can find a way to double-team Caitlin Clark when she gets to the three-point line. We can find a way to see – she knows how to pass. She's one of the best passers on the team, and she gets her teammates involved, which I love Caitlin Clark about. But LSU did a great job stopping that for most of the game. They didn't let Gabby Marshall, one of the other players, step up as well. Monica Cesano step up to try to make plays for her team. So I give props to LSU, and guess what? It's a first-time championship for the Tigers, so go LSU.
I have to give the utmost respect and props to Gabby Marshall, because looking at the entire NCAA bracket, right? Looking at the entire NCAA bracket, she played an average of 37 minutes. So the first game she played against Ohio State, she played 32 minutes. Second game against SEL, I guess I'd never heard of them before. Right?
Southeast Louisiana.
Southeast Louisiana.
Yep.
She only played 23 minutes, but they won by 50 points. So, I mean, you don't have to play the whole time. And then every game after, when they played Georgia, when they played Colorado, when they played Louisville, when they played South Carolina, when they played LSU, she averaged over 39 minutes. She did not leave the court. She never got tired. Who else do you know from Avila women's basketball, since you've been here, who never gets off the court?
Never gets off the court?
Her initials are MM.
Oh, well, Maddie Morgan.
Maddie Morgan
That's
never
true.
gets off the court. And,
that is valid, though. I remember when we were calling games.
Yeah.
I was like, because we always thought, but she was that type of player, too. That she was great at facilitating others in the lineup, making plays for herself. That's why she led the team, obviously the leader in three-pointers here at Avila, and one of the best all time. And so I think the main key, Kruck, before we move on here, next topic is that LSU had more players that are more in double figures, and Iowa did not, and that was the big result in the game for LSU to win.
True. Shifting into the next category, we have the men's national championship coming up tonight. Hopefully this thing will be posted before it's over. If not, don't burn us at the stake. Max, before you look at the winning percentage, who are you taking right now? 5 seed San Diego State or 4 seed UConn?
I'm going UConn. UConn, how they've been playing this entire tournament, Kruck, it's just been, basically, I wasn't going to say this, they could have been a 1 seed or 2 seed if they didn't lose those games in the Big East.
Yep.
I'm being serious, because this team was dominant at the beginning of the year. They were like 12 or 13-0, and everyone was talking about the top, and they're showing you why right now, why they're one of the best teams in this whole tournament. And, I mean, looking at the entire tournament, they've not had a game that's been close at all. All their games have at least been more than 15, 20 points. I mean, that game against Gonzaga, they had 30-point win. That's still very impressive to my mind. And obviously, they just beat Miami, a team that I saw, we talked about last week there in Kansas City, that I thought was very impressive, win over Texas. And UConn took care of business. I mean, Adama Sunoco is one of the best players. He's one of the best bigs probably this entire tournament. And another one, too, Jordan Hawkins. That guy can shoot from the 3. He can shoot and he can make big plays. And I think San Diego State, yes, they're a defensive team. They can make a lot of plays. But I think UConn is that good right now. And I think San Diego State can't trust in their defense alone to stop UConn. They got to find a way to score on offensively as well. And, I mean, we'll see. I just think UConn's going to win tonight. What about you, Kruck?
I mean, there's no other way to call UConn's run this year other than madness. And that's why they call it March Madness. I mean, they're predicted 74.3% on the ESPN analytics to win
That's a pretty good
the game.
Right there. Yeah.
So, I mean, just south of 75% chance to win it. I don't think UConn is going to lose this game. I mean, San Diego State's coming in with a 2-game better record, but UConn has just been playing amazing.
Yeah.
And all props to San Diego State.
Oh, yeah.
All props to them.
No, I think they're a great team. Yeah, they're a great team, and they've showed. Personally, I was mean to San Diego State. I mean, I said this on the Houston episode, too. I thought Charleston was going to beat them in the first round.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, San Diego State just kept proving me wrong, and they've had some good wins. And I think they're a valid team, and I mean, they're going to be a great team, obviously, in the future. But I think UConn, how they're playing right now, is just on another level. So, give me UConn tonight.
You look back at last year's Final Four, Max. It was
not like this.
Kentucky, a blue team.
Mm-hmm.
It was Duke, a blue team.
Right.
Gonzaga, a blue team. And Villanova. The 4 big blues were in the Final Four last year. How many big blues are in this year?
None.
0.
0.
The four teams in this year is FAU, San Diego State, Miami and UConn. Okay, UConn, not a big blue, but they are blue.
Yeah.
FAU, I'm not even going to consider them a blue.
No, they're not. It's the first. Here's the thing: UConn's the only team in this Final Four that's actually had Final Four experience.
Yeah.
They're only one. They had 5 appearances in the Final Four. All these other teams the first time, and so.
Or actually, not San Diego State.
San Diego State was there before?
They made it to the Final Four one other time, and guess what they walked away with?
Nothing, because they haven't won a title. I know that.
They did not win the title. So, San Diego State could be winning their first one this year. UConn could be.
I don't know. It's just UConn's on another level right now, but I guess I'm just going to pick UConn tonight just because I think the real key, though, and before we move on here too, Kruck, Adama Sunoco for UConn. He is the key. And how Matthew Bradley, another one of the guys, right, leading scorer on their team against Sunoco, that matchup to me is going to be huge tonight. Who is going to win the big battle of the bigs, I think is going to be the big key in this matchup.
All right, and then baseball started up last weekend. Opening day series has just kind of concluded. And Max, what are some of the big things that you've seen out of the MLB so far in this early season?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, some teams that we saw that are kind of the same right now. I think right now looking at the NL West, the Dodgers and my Padres, Kruck, as we always talk about my Padres, they're at 2-2 right now, and I think obviously it's still way earlier in the year, right? I mean, that whole division right now is at 2-2 actually at the moment. So, but one team though that we talked about beforehand was the Texas Rangers and how they were as a team looking at it in the AL, right? I think the Texas Rangers right now, how they're looking and how their pitching staff is playing is going to be a team to watch because I think we believe Corey Seager is down there?
Corey Seager's down there.
Yeah.
Marcus Semien.
Marcus Semien is down there.
Mitch Garver, Jacob deGrom, Nate Lowe.
Yeah, so they got some talented people right now, and we always think, hey, the Astros are that team that right now could win that division. If the Rangers keep playing like they have in the first 3 series against like that Philly, a team that was in that spot last year, I believe in the World Series against the Astros. So that shows you a lot right there of how the culture is building there for the Rangers, and I think I'm really impressed by them. And then probably one more I'll probably say, the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, they look pretty good as well. I mean, they're going to be a team to watch, obviously, in the AL East for sure. Probably with the Yankees still around there too, and then for Boston as well.
Couple of sleepers. I get it's still super early in the season, so
we got a lot up to go.
I mean, there's no, like, you know what? I'll do it right now. I'll set it in stone. I think that the Baltimore Orioles are going to make the postseason. I'll say it right now.
Okay.
I think the Baltimore Orioles are just a well-rounded defensive, offensive team. You got Cedric Mullins, you got Adley Rutchinson, who are going to anchor your offense. You've got a decent amount of other key players around them. I think that'll be a fun team to watch. And then, honestly, looking at the NL East, right? This might be one of the most loaded divisions in baseball. You got the Braves, the Mets, you got Miami, and you have the Phillies. Phillies are off to a slump of a start, right? They're 0-3. They're playing the Yankees right now. They are going to turn it around, and they're going to be good because you can't not be good when you have Harper coming back in a little bit. You have Castellanos. You have Kyle Schwarber. You have Trey Turner. You have JT Realmuto. It doesn't matter who your pitchers are anymore. You have a couple of decent pitchers who get you through 6 innings, giving up 2-3 runs. You'll still be good. You just have to get the bats going. You have to get some kind of chemistry around the team, and you have to get the bats going. Our NL Central, because we're both NL Central
That's
fans.
true. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think this year the Cardinals are going to win it outright, and I'm a Brewers fan. I think the Cardinals are going to win it outright, and I think it's going to be a very, very tough competition to even get a wild card seed out of the NL Central. It is going to be near impossible looking at the other divisions because, I mean, go all the way down to the NL West. Okay, either the Dodgers, Padres, either the Dodgers or the Padres, they're getting the NL West. It would surprise me very much if the Giants end up getting it. So it's either going to be Dodgers, Padres, and whoever doesn't get it, they're getting one of the wild card seats. Okay, now you go back to the NL East where Philly, Mets, and the Braves are now all having to fight over that other wild card seed and their own divisional seed. So somebody in the NL Central is going to have to put on an absolute clinic.
Oh, yeah.
Win at least 110 games to get the division, and then the next team down has to still win at least 100 games just to get a wild card outright.
Yeah, because I believe, what was it, in the NL East and the NL West, there was 2 teams, right, from both sides that made it over, and the NL Central was not in that category. So, yeah, it's still way too early to know, but I think I agree with you with the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are they're looking like a solid team so far, and I think they probably will win the NL Central.
Absolutely. Now we're going to jump right into our fun topic. We're going to make it a little bit shorter today so everybody can have this just real quick and we can get right to the national championship because you and I don't want to miss that.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to lead off? Okay, so we're doing blindly rank 5 different things, right?
Okay.
We're not going to know each other's lists, and you have to blindly rank them, and they can be anything from across the sun, sports, food, cities, doesn't matter. It can be anything, right? I have 2 lists for you.
Okay.
Max.
So
I'm gonna.
You want to go because you got the 2 lists?
I'll do one list.
I'll
do one
another
list.
one. Then you do.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Blindly rank these American cities.
Okay.
Chicago.
3.
Chicago's at 3. Okay. New York.
2.
New York at 2. Ooh, Philly.
4.
Ooh, okay. Kansas City.
I feel like the 5th one. I don't know. I feel like the 5th one's gonna be
You
something
got
good.
5 and 1.
It's really weird. I got the top and I got the bottom at this one. I got all the middle.
Is
man.
Kansas City better than New York?
Because I think a lot of our viewers are around, right? Probably will say Kansas City. I'll go Kansas City for now, but it's kind of tough because
You can't change it.
I can't change
it.
That's true. We cannot. That's a rule we can do. We cannot change it from our list. Wish we could. Give me Kansas City at 1.
Okay,
Probably
Houston.
Damn, they gotta go 5. I feel bad, because I feel bad because I just went down there, right? For people that don't know, I went down there for spring break, and I have a friend down there. It's gonna be like, oh man, you got him down at the 5th spot. Oh well, there you go then.
All right, give me
All
your
right,
list, Max.
here we go. Let's see. So these are gonna be NBA players, like all-time best NBA players.
That's tough. Okay.
This is a good one. So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna start with. We're gonna start with Tim Duncan.
3.
Okay. Let's see. Akeem Olajuwon.
2.
Okay. Let's put it at Michael Jordan.
1. That's easy.
Yeah. See, I gave you an easy one right there because look at the list. Let's see. Jerry West.
5.
Okay. And then obviously the last one. Let's put Steph Curry on there.
I am 100% happy with that list.
That's actually
100%.
That's usually most of the time we don't get happy about the list that we do, but that's actually a pretty good list. I would pick the same one because I was thinking about putting LeBron in there, but then I didn't want to. We could have heard the debate with LeBron and MJ. We hear that debate all the time. It can go either way. I don't know. I picked some names that were not like they're still big time names. Obviously MJ, everybody knows, right? And Steph Curry at the moment, but like other names that probably you wouldn't assume, right? That's a pretty good list. I think you like it.
Here you go, Max. We had a fan actually bring in this list for you.
A fan for me. Okay.
Rank these all-time Playboy bunnies.
Wow. Okay. Whoever this fan is, I better get her not disappointed.
Carmen Electra.
Carmen Electra. Okay. To be honest with you, I'm not that much into this topic for sure. So
me neither, man.
So I'm just gonna put whatever number I say. So whatever this person says, whatever. Put him at 4 for me.
All right. Pamela Anderson. She's one of the more famous ones.
Pamela Anderson. Okay, so she's famous. I think I did have heard of that name before. Put her at 1. I think she's one of the more famous ones.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh man. You see this is the thing about this is that this is
you don't know what's
ranking.
coming next.
You do not know what's coming next. This is why it makes it so fun. I feel bad because she could have been in the 1 spot. Put her at the 2 spot then.
Jenny McCarthy, also famous for The Masked Singer.
That's true. That is
she's
true.
married to one of the Wahlbergs.
Yeah, Donnie Wahlberg. So I got 3 and 5 left, right?
3 and 5.
Let's see. Put her at 3.
And then your number 5 spot is Holly Madison.
All right. Well, I guess
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. So
Never
she
heard
could
of
be
her.
a 5. But man, that's tough though because if I would have heard Marilyn Monroe before, I definitely would have put that before Pamela Anderson because I just know Marilyn Monroe is that
She's
iconic.
big, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Man.
we're going to go back down the list one more time. So Max's city ranking, KC at 1, New York at 2, Chicago at 3, Philly at 4, and Houston at 5. My all-time NBA list, I have Jordan at 1,
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem Olajuwon at 2,
Yep.
Tim Duncan at 3,
Yep.
Steph Curry at 4,
Yep.
Jerry West at 5, and your Playboy bunnies are Pamela Anderson at 1, Marilyn Monroe at 2, Jenny McCarthy at 3, number 4 is Carmen Electra, and 5 is Holly Madison. Now that you know how this game works, have fun. Do it with a friend or whatnot.
Yeah, for real. Try it out with other people. It
could be literally anything. Like, ready? Max, blindly rank these types of food. Italian.
3.
Fast food.
4.
Mexican food.
Ooh. 2.
American food.
I mean, American food could be a lot. I mean, we putting like barbecue and burgers and all that in
barbecue.
there. Put it at 1 then.
Chinese food.
What I got? 5 left.
Yep.
5. So again, we still don't know what's happening.
Just
We always
off the
forget
top
our
of your
names. Off
head.
the top of your head. So yeah, if you got a fun topic, just put it up top of your head. I mean, it's gonna be a fun thing. Just chill one day and do whatever. Just make up a topic.
All right, Max, I got one last thing to ask you before we go.
Man, let's go ahead. Go ask me. What is it?
So, we know you're a Padres fan as well as a Reds fan. We know you're a Knickerbockers fan as well as a
Where's this
Cleveland
going,
Cavaliers
Kruck?
fan.
Where's this going?
What are your 2 NBA teams?
Like, favorite NBA
Or
teams?
pardon me, NBA, your Knickerbockers and Cavs. What are your 2 football teams? We know your Bengals. And then what's your bandwagon team? You got to call it right now.
For what, NFL?
NFL. What is your bandwagon
team? Well, man, I mean, the Chiefs are, they're probably one of the top bandwagon teams out there.
I mean, you usually pick
tough.
a sleeper card.
I usually do, though. I mean, the Chiefs are up there. I mean,
what would be a good sleeper pick?
I don't know. There's a lot there's a lot I could pick.
Buffalo's not really a sleeper card, but at the same time,
I do like Buffalo.
I'm sitting here and I'm like, they do so well in the regular season. And then when they get to the playoffs every year.
I don't know. I've always, with the Dolphins.
The Dolphins would be a good sleeper
I do
pick.
like the Dolphins a lot. And it's funny because I always talk about this with other people and my dad especially, right? My dad was like, well, I don't know about the Dolphins and Tua and how he's going to be, right? I don't know. I just believe that there's something going on in Miami that's changing there. Because we always talk about, obviously, the Bills and how they're playing with Josh Allen. The Patriots, I mean, they had their dynasty going with Tom Brady, and they're still figuring their ways out.
With Mike Jones, yeah.
Yeah. Mac Jones, right?
He doesn't deserve Mac.
Oh, he don't deserve Mac. I just thought you were messing around.
He doesn't deserve
You don't
Mac.
deserve it? Man. But, I don't know. For real, though, getting to the Dolphins, if Tua can really stay healthy, though, I think the Dolphins are a real team.
I mean,
getting Tyreek Hill, they have Cedric Wilson there. They have a lot of other great players as well.
Waddle?
Yeah, Jalen Waddle, absolutely. And so that's just talent and explosive. And their defense is really great, too. And so, I don't know.
You give them a solid running back. You give them a top 6,
that's
top
true.
7 running back.
They do need a running back, though. So
that would be an explosive franchise. So that's going to do it for us here at Crunch Time. Make sure to tune in to the National Championship. If you're listening to this after today, it's already gone. Might as well look it up and try to prank your fans with it. Like, hey, Max, tomorrow at noon, I'm going to bet you who wins the game, okay?
Okay.
All right, and you can't watch the game, but I will. So I'm going to bet you who wins it. All right, we'll be back next time. Until next time, Jake Krungberg, Mad Max, Buster the dog chilling up on the couch. We'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. And happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, yeah.
Want to stay up to date on all Crunch Time episodes? Make sure to subscribe and follow on Spotify Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.